Alright everybody, I've been getting some questions about transmission and transaxle setups for the racing lawnmowers. So today I'm going to show you some of the ways that I use to set it up. Here we have your standard Spicer 6 or 5 speed transaxle. Now the brakes that they come with are like this, and they're mounted right on the side of the transaxle, sorry. And what most people will do is they will get a brake disc like that, and they'll get either a hydraulic or mechanical, whichever way you decide to go, caliper, and mount it separately because it stops you better. Because there's always a little bit of play with those ones. This is another style. This is by a company called Foot, and it's basically the same setup, just different company pretty much. And then they mount like this. They'll mount right with little L brackets to the side of your frames, and then see, there's the brake disc setup right there. And then you'll run a shifter similar to that up through there, up to the center, which just, in turn, as you move it here, shifts down there. You're going to have to extend it up. If you're going to run a smaller pulley on the back, which you probably are to speed it up, you're going to want to extend it up, or else it will rub on this part here. Another transaxle setup is called the 3-speed. Those are the 5 and 6 speed. This is a 3-speed setup, and it's pretty much the same. You're going to want to put this different brake on it, and they look, when they're mounted, they look similar to this. That's the 3-speed setup right there. And then we run the 4-bolt hub. If you're running the pan style frame, you'll just have a shortened shifter, but if you're running the tunnel frame, you'll have a long one like that. The third style is through a gearbox, or a right angle, like either a 5-speed, a 3-speed gearbox, or a right angle gearbox. This is a 5-speed gearbox made by Peerless, which is a division of Tecumseh, and how it works is you'll run a pulley from the bottom of your engine down to wherever you've mounted the transmission. Put a pulley on the bottom there, and then run a chain from the sprocket to the rear axle, something like that. Here's an example. Here we have the engine, and it runs with a pulley and belt from underneath, from the engine to the bottom of the transmission, which is underneath this case. Then you will run a chain from the back, from the transmission to the rear axle. These shifters are mounted directly on top of the transmission, as you can see there, or here. Here's a setup of the rear axle. This is a 1-inch axle, and it has a sprocket there, brake disc there, and then it has a bearing here, and it would have another bearing there. And then you would mount the bearing to a little angled plate like that, and then you would mount that right to the side of your frame. So that's pretty much how you will set up any kind of transmission or transaxle.